I bought these off Amazon. Right, gonna see a hole in the ground, I think. Before I just point out, that's paint, not cow poo. I'm painting my transport box at the moment. We're gonna have a look at that when I get back. But in the meantime, we're gonna go along to my new field because I think I've got a big hole in the ground. What I did yesterday, we're going to see a hole because there's been a bit of a problem with an electric main there, and they're flipping. Well, I'll tell you about it when we get there. Let's go and have a look. There we go. I parked up on the main road here, and I'm going to spin it around in a minute, just show you this big generator. We saw this the other day. It's still here, National Grid. So we originally thought the problem was the transformer up there, which is that big box there. And they plumbed into that with the generator, but it's not the problem. So what they've got from that pole there is an electric mains cable that goes underground all the way up this side of this field to the top before it feeds through to another pole. So I've had a call from someone the other day from National Grid saying they're going to have to dig up the cable and they're going to have to reinstate it because it's got a fault on a join on it. In the meantime, they've been driving over my lovely grass, so they've made a bit of a mess. I don't know whether they've actually fixed it now or whether they've just exposed it. So we all came up here last night, me and the wife and the kids and everyone like that, just to have a look, and last night they just exposed it. But I'm coming back today because I wonder if they've actually fixed it. My guess is no, they haven't fixed it because that generator's still running. But how it works generally on these things is that I think they have one team to dig the hole, one team to come in and fix the cable, and another team to come back and fill the hole. So you don't get it all done in one group. Right, actually, just before we go up there, we just pan around here. We came out here and we just thought, you know, what a beautiful spot, and how much it is a lovely place to be, especially the bit of wood at the end and everything like that. I think the trees are a bit close together. We will thin them out. I will get some advice off Farmer P. And there is, like you can see up there, look, there's some that are actually dead. There's some sort of pine in the middle there that has died. The trees on the outside have done the best because they're obviously getting the light. The ones in the middle, they haven't got the light, but I'm not sure whether it's too late for them because they've gone up really spindly. Possibly they won't actually, no more branches are going to grow down below because it's sort of too late, if you see what I mean. They've gone on up. So I don't know whether they'll ever make really nice bushy trees like one that would be left out in the open. Anyway, right, we're going to go and have a look at this hole. You can see, luckily they've been fairly good actually coming up here. They haven't just gone drive all over the hay meadow, but they have been up and down here, and I guess they'll make more of a mess if they keep coming up. Right, let's have a look when we get there. Right, there we go. You can see where they've ripped the fence down. Right, and this is where the carnage starts. Right, so big spoil heap here, and that is the main cable. Look at the size of it. That is, oh, maybe it's hard to judge it on a small screen, but that is easily I'd say 4 inches wide. That's the main electric cable for that transformer down there. Now it's going on up there. This is the spoil they've dug out. Look at it, it's not very nice under there. It's a lot of rock. You can see that big lumps there. I think they've sculpted off the topsoil. We'll have a look up there in a minute. Now where there is, right, let's just get in the middle here. I'll show you what's happening. National Grid at its finest. So between those two poles, can you see the yellow on there? And there's another one on there, yellow on there. Didn't show up that well. There's yellow on there anyway. Between those two poles, marked yellow, is where the fault is. It's just there, underground. But what they've done, they've obviously decided, they've obviously worked this one out themselves, what they can do, rather than dig down on the fault, rather than dig that there, what they've done, they've cut this loop here. Can you see that? Look how deep that is. They've dug that down, and what they're going to do, I think, is put a join in, join there, or run the cable all the way down there to there. We'll have a look up there in a minute. Now, the reason for that funny loop, you can sort of almost see it, can't you? Can you see the roots sticking out? All those roots, because their policy is to do with the trees above it. Because of the roots of these trees, they're not allowed to damage them. They've got to dig out and do this to avoid damage to the tree roots. I guess those trees weren't there when they put the original cable in. So what you've got is a kind of loop avoiding tree roots, which may be a little bit over the top, but I guess you've got to do it one way or the other. This stuff is what you put on top of the cables. Oh look, caution. Electric cables below. So that's the safety boards that were put in there. God knows when they were put in there. There's some sort of composite, I don't know what that is. Is it plastic? I guess it protects the cable and also warns you before you've dug any further. So I'm guessing that one there, I presume that yellow bit sticks up. That bit, there's a bit of it there, look. That's quite interesting. That's over the top of the cable. So if you're digging down and you find that, the idea is to stop, because there's another one there, look. That would be facing up towards you. So as you scrape that with your digger, you're going to go woo. But then if you're scraping that way and you get the bucket, it's probably a bit late. If you're scraping that way, fine. But if you're going, you're going to dig it, aren't you? Although it might, maybe not. Hopefully you know where the cables are. Right. So that's where we're at on that. No action yet. So we don't find anything else to dig up. So anyway, that's where I'm at with this. Look at it. I buy a field, and 2 weeks or 3 weeks after I bought it, I end up with that. The interesting thing is, and I have to say actually, it's probably going to do me a favour, which is quite weird, because I'm going to be able to claim compensation off the electric board for this. And I had a land agent come round last night. We walked up here, and he's going to put a claim in. The good thing is, you see, and being a farmer, I knew the rules. The good thing is about this is that you could actually get someone in to represent you, and the electric board will pay their fees. So it will cost me nothing to have an agent to negotiate with them a damage claim. So the interesting thing was, I actually put in a claim myself at the start of this when they first put the generator there, and I just put a small claim in for, you know, a bit of damage to the grass and inconvenience, blah blah blah. And then I thought, oh, I could do that myself, because I think it's hardly worth bothering getting an agent involved, just waste some money from the, you know, no point in spending National Grid's money for the sake of it. So I put a small claim in, and then they came back to me and said, we're going to do that hole. And at that point I realised I'm a bit out of my depth. I need someone else to represent me, because I can't really, I haven't got the skills to discuss how many, you know, how to negotiate on what should be, how the correct way it should be done and how they approach it. So then I got the agent I know in to take over and basically manage the project with them. So that's what's happening. So I will get some compensation, and in some ways it's annoying, but in some ways it's actually very lucky, because if this had happened a month ago, the person I'm buying it off would have got the compensation, and I would have ended up with a mess that would have been maybe grass seeded over, but it would have been disturbed soil, but I wouldn't have been able to put the claim in. So at least I'm kind of getting something out of this. Might go towards the cost of the field. Anyway, right, so that's where we're at with this field. Hopefully next time we look at here, we might actually get a hay meadow. We might be mowing for hay, but it won't be for another month or so. We need some rain on it as well. It's still very dry. And that grass ain't going to kick on. It's had no fertiliser on it, so it's not going to kick on to a lot of hay if we don't get some more rain. Anyway, look at this. This is damaged by the electric board. They've flattened all this nicely. That was going to be a strip of grass for mowing there, but it ain't going to happen. Right. So anyway, there's the fields, but we're going to go back now. Look at the grey paint I'm dealing with, because I have been tidying up that transport box I've got, and I'm very pleased. It's looking quite smart actually. It's come up really well, so let's go and have a look at that. All right, let's crack on. Right, back at base now. Gonna do my painting. Let's get round and have a look at this little transport box. It's actually been transformed quite nicely. So just gearing up for silage. So this video might be a bit out of sequence with some of the other videos I've done. You might have seen the silage videos already, but I'm just doing this now before silage making. And here we are, a little box. My little transport box. Put those down there. Right. So when I got this, it was a little bit beat up. Not too bad. It wasn't a bad nick actually. It was just a bit dirty and grungy. A lot of the paint had gone off the top. So I didn't have any access to the sandblasting people I had before, which is a shame because they were based in Ireland. But what I did, I sanded it all down. And I didn't do that much to it actually, because this is all galvanised. These bits here, they're uneven. They're already uneven. I think that's the actual galvanised. I painted all this with the red oxide on there, and then what I did, I put the Old Faithful. You know what I'm going to say in a minute, don't you? You know what that paint is, don't you? In the middle of there, that's Pylon paint. I love it, Pylon paint. The stuff they used to paint that pylon over there. Boom, that pylon over there, and ones on our farm. It's like a very strong hammerite, like an industrial hammerite, and you can see it here. It's probably still drying. It's like a matte coat, and I put that on the inside, but I wanted to finish it in a nicer colour on the outside, so I've actually gone for the old Fergie grey Agriline can. Hopefully I'm not going to spill this one like I spilt the other one, Stoneleigh Grey, look. And I'm just going to give it a second coat on the sides and on there. I've done, and at that point needs a second coat as well. The inside's fine. I don't want to spend too much more time on it, but that's the plate that hinges on here. So this goes on here like that. That's quite neat, isn't it? I like that. Look at that. And I've got to put these back on to finish it, but I've also ordered a Funky Farmer sticker to go on there, which will finish that off. Hopefully won't look too silly. So I was just going to put some paint on there and call that a day. Right, I think that's how I'm going to leave it for tonight. I've just put a coat on there and on there. I've done the back a couple of times. Before I flipped it back over, I had it level, so I don't need to put any more on the back. And then once it's dry, I will put this back on with those. I didn't want to put those on and have to try and paint around them, so they're going to bolt on the back there through those little holes. And then the sticker I've got, the Funky Farmer sticker, I can put that on maybe when it's on the tractor, I don't know, but I'm not convinced this is a good idea, putting this Funky Farmer sticker on it. I just think of Fred Didner and his Land Rover. Do you remember him? He had an old Land Rover and it had Fred Didner on it. And I'm not Fred Didner, but I like the idea of a kind of like, you know, something personalised, you know, driving around around. So the Funky Farmer sticker might go on the back, because I think the box goes well with the tractor. It's kind of, I've done it in Fergie grey. It's not a traditional properly manufactured one. It's a farmer fixture. I really like it, actually. The longer I've had it, the more I like it, because I'm sure this is a water trough, the way that those corners are, and it's been cut down. Someone's very carefully built it with they spent a bit of time on it, actually, for a farmer fix. It's not a bodge. They put the steel on the sides, heavy duty, I don't know if these are rivets or bolts. Are they bolts? Yeah. Heavy duty bolt heads through there with the rivets. I like that. I like the rivet effect. And this little door that you lift up. I'm not quite sure whether I need the door really on the lift up, because how often are you going to need to open that? I almost like maybe, I don't know, you put a cover on the top and you just have that to lift it, open it. But realistically, I suppose it's more a case of you can take that off rather than, yeah, it's not actually for lifting up and opening, is it really? It's more a case of you can take that off completely so you can transport something in there that you stick out, I don't know. And then you put that back on and then you've created a safety barrier, if you like. I can just imagine that's what it's for. I can't think, you're not going to open it, although it opens on a swing, you're not going to open it to swing it up really, are you? I don't think there's any need to do that. So I think it's maybe more a case of that's for removal completely. But I just like it. It'll never look this good again, believe me, once I start using it on the tractor, although I'm not going to use it a lot, but once I put it on the tractor, it's going to get dirty and scratched and abused. But I just brought it up together for now. I've just got to stand here for 5 minutes. I've got to stand here for 5 minutes and do the paint runs, because I'm sure you're well aware, you know, it's like with gloss paint. You walk away from it and you come back in a quarter of an hour and find there's flipping paint runs everywhere. So I'm stood here with my paintbrush watching, because the most frustrating thing is if you go away for say 5 hours and you come back. I've done this before. I did it on a door in the house, actually. Glossed the door, walked away, went and did the milking or something like that, I think. Came back and the blooming paint runs had gone, but they'd gone quite hard, so it's really hard to brush them out. Bane of my life. Non-drip gloss, that was. Anyway, right, you don't want to hear me mumbling on for ages, but this next time you might see this on the back of the tractor for the tractor run. Right, anyway, there you go. Coming together, nice. I like a little project like that. It's an easy, compared with the style, this is such an easy project. This is a rub down paint and finish, rather than that flipping style that took me hours and hours and hours. This is a satisfying one because it's very quick. Not all jobs are quick. Just to add to the end of this video, I am doing the logo on the back of the transport box. I forgot to start the video at the very beginning, but I'm just showing you what I did. Right, Harry, hold that. Can you demonstrate what that is? So I bought these off Amazon. It was only about a tenner for 2 of these to be done. I ordered 1, they sent 2. It's a sticky label, just a Funky Farmer, very basic, which I'm putting on here now. And this is one I did earlier, and I'm just peeling this off now. I mean, sort of slightly nervous about doing this. Every now and then you've got to rub back on the letter, because otherwise it comes off. See, like that one. Me and Harry have been looking at this, slightly worried. I don't know how long something like this will last on the back of here, but do you know what? It's worth a go for the price. It's quite cheap. And I think if you had to paint this yourself, it would take ages. Right, let's have a look when I finish doing this. So it's on here now. Is that? Hang on, he hasn't got the one.
No, the other one's.
Don't let the dog have that.
He's got the...
Right, and just rubbing these on now. We'll have a little look, and then we'll see this on the transport box later. That one there's like coming off a little bit. Yeah, see, it's already peeling on there. This is the only thing about these stickers, they're not as good as painting, but I'm quite pleased with that, Harry. What do you think?
It's good.
That's all right. It didn't go horribly wrong. It didn't go wonky.
I think Farmer Hazard would look better on there.
Farmer Hazard. Well, you need to get your own tractor then, don't you?
Well, I will do.
Let's not give you any ideas. Next year. Oh, God.
2026.
Right, that's all right. And it lets you know who's driving the tractor, doesn't it?
Yeah, me.
Right. You. Well, you can drive it, but when you're legal on the road. That's from your road run. Right. Let's set this up on the tractor.